the hype surrounding Avengers. Doomsday continues to grow, and now a new rumor is giving fans even more to talk about. This time, it's not about surprise character returns or multiversal chaos. It's about the film's runtime. According to a new industry report, Avengers Doomsday could be just as long as Avengers That Endgame, potentially clocking in at around 3 hours. If true, that alone says a lot about Marvel's ambitions for this film and how massive its story is expected to be. The rumor comes from well-known industry scooper Daniel Richtman, who recently claimed on social media that Avengers Doomsday is currently estimated to run close to 3 hours. While nothing has been officially confirmed by Marvel Studios, Richtman has a mixed but often reliable track record, especially when it comes to early production details. If this estimate holds, Doomsday would sit right alongside Avengers Endgame, which famously ran for 3 hours and 1 minute and still managed to keep audiences glued to their seats worldwide. To put this into perspective, none of the previous Avengers films reached that length until Endgame. The original Avengers from 2012 ran for 2 hours and 23 minutes. Age of Ultron trimmed that slightly to 2 hours and 21 minutes, while Infinity War expanded the scale with a runtime of 2 hours and 29 minutes. A 3-hour Doomsday would clearly signal that Marvel is once again aiming for an epic, densely packed event film rather than a streamlined blockbuster. Interestingly, the Russo Brothers themselves have already hinted that long runtimes are very much on the table. While promoting their Netflix film The Electric State last year, Joe and Anthony Russo addressed speculation about the length of the next 2 Avengers movies. Although they stopped short of confirming exact numbers, Joe Russo stated that if he were betting, he would guess Avengers. Doomsday would land around 2.5 hours, while Avengers, Secret Wars could stretch to a full 3 hours. That comment alone suggests Marvel is comfortable letting these films breathe, especially given the scale of the multiverse saga. What makes this runtime rumor feel believable is the sheer amount of narrative ground Avengers Doomsday has to cover. In just the past few weeks, Marvel released 4 separate teaser trailers, each focusing on different corners of the MCU. These weren't traditional trailers packed with rapid-fire action shots. Instead, they felt more like character-focused vignettes, quietly setting the stage for something much bigger. The first teaser confirmed the return of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers and showed him living in the alternate timeline where he stayed behind with Peggy Carter after Avengers Endgame. This alone raises massive questions about timelines, consequences, and how Steve is pulled back into the fight. Exploring even a fraction of that storyline properly would take time, the kind of time you only get in a longer film. The second teaser shifted focus to Thor, now portrayed as a battle-worn god, balancing heroism with fatherhood. Chris Hemsworth's Thor is shown praying to his father for strength, hinting at an emotional and possibly tragic arc as he prepares to face Doctor Doom. This version of Thor feels heavier, more introspective, and far removed from the comedic tone of earlier appearances. That kind of character depth doesn't work if rushed. The third teaser placed the X-Men at the forefront, giving fans their first real look at how mutants are being folded into the MCU's multiverse storyline. Patrick Stewart's Professor X and Ian McKellen's Magneto are shown in a quiet but loaded chess match, while James Marsden's Cyclops unleashes an optic blast fueled by rage. Even in seconds of footage, the tone feels intense, ideological, and deeply rooted in the long history between these characters. The fourth and final teaser brought Wakanda, Talokan, and the Fantastic Four into the picture. Letitia Wright's Shuri, Winston Duke's M'Baku, Tenoch Huerta's Namor, and Eben Moss Bachrach's Ben Grimm all appear in a teaser that suggests alliances forming under extreme pressure. The implication is clear. Worlds are colliding, and survival may require cooperation between factions that once stood apart. When you step back and look at everything, Avengers, Doomsday is juggling returning legacy heroes, multiversal variants, emotional character arcs, and the looming threat of Doctor Doom, a 3-hour runtime, starts to feel less like excess and more like necessity. Marvel isn't just telling one story here. It's laying the foundation for Avengers, Secret Wars, and potentially reshaping the entire MCU going forward. Of course, it's worth remembering that runtimes often change during post-production. Editing, pacing, and studio decisions could trim or expand the final cut. But if Marvel truly wants Doomsday to hit with the same emotional and narrative weight as Endgame, giving the story room to unfold might be the smartest move they can make. As we get closer to the 18th of December 2026, more concrete details will emerge. But one thing is already clear. Avengers Doomsday isn't aiming to be just another Marvel movie. It's positioning itself as an event, possibly the most ambitious chapter of the multiverse saga so far. If you want to stay updated on every major Avengers, Doomsday rumor, teaser breakdown, and MCU development, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There's a lot more coming, and you won't want to miss what's next.